It was bound to be a road of twists and turns.
Everybody hold on tight. There's going to be some heavy turbulence along the way.
After all, that's what it was all about. To inject intrigue into the mix, to add drama, give it all a bit of spice. And we had intrigue, no question.
I've been a racing driver myself, so every trick they would do, I would do as well.
And drama, without doubt.
It takes a lot of confidence away from you when you brake and the car doesn't stop.
And plenty of spice, all right.
A centimetre at times between us.
Who could tame the beast? Friends at first, rivals to the last.
You need to question whether they were ever friends.
I apologized for that to everybody.
Oh, what became of them along the way?
This guy's car never stops.
This is what racing drivers do in this high level of competition.
So here we are, and here they are.
It doesn't stop, does it?
Welcome to Formula One.
Well, here we are in Abu Dhabi, the day after what was an incredible title-deciding weekend. And you couldn't have scripted this season, could you? The changing rules, technical regulations, new power units, a change of the guard. And I suppose, really, some of the clues were in winter testing, David.
Well, I was shocked. You know, we knew the new generation of engines were coming into play, these hybrid, turbocharged wonders that is this the new technology in Formula One. But the first test, we were a week in. You know, the world champions from the last 4 seasons hadn't done any more than a 20-lap run.
Well, we didn't do any. That was the biggest problem. I mean, we turned up first test, and I think we did 2 laps with either the car sitting on fire or, you know, the engine just wouldn't run properly.
We did an installation lap and, yeah, didn't come back. Once we were ready to more or less get going again in the afternoon, we had a mechanical failure, and which didn't allow us to go out again.
As you can see, all the Renault teams were struggling getting the combustion engine, the energy recovery system and the turbo all working in harmony, and I think that those tests just came too soon for Renault with where they were at that point in time. It was disastrous. We did 1,500 kilometres of testing compared to Mercedes 9,000.
That was one of the most exciting times in my career because it was these new regulations, you know, and we've put so much hope into this as a team.
I mean, our team was massively excited because they knew how, you know, you don't know how everyone else has done, but we knew that we had done a solid job.
With the days going by, you'd see the lap times of other people, and we knew how much fuel we had, so we definitely grew quite confident quickly, yes.
But there was a lot of effort behind it. When we fired up the engine the first time, it was a day in December. The whole group of engineers were there, and mechanics and management, and the engine wouldn't fire up, and it wouldn't fire up, and it wouldn't fire up, and then finally, at the end of the day, at 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock, it fired up on 1 cylinder. And there was such a wave of enjoyment. Our goal was to get out of the garage at 9 o'clock in the morning on the first day of testing. We knew every single day where we are going to do mileage and do laps is going to be an advantage, difficult to catch up for the others.
Going to Australia, we were heading into the unknown. We got a car that hadn't done more than 10 successive laps. Our expectation was if we got into Q2, that'd be a result, and if we got to half distance in the race, it would be even bigger result.
Ricciardo's on the intermediate tyre. Has he got the grip he needs to try and challenge those Mercedes? The checker flag is waving on this session. Rosberg, Hamilton, Ricciardo, the order at the moment. Can he get amongst them? Oh, he's gone fast! And the cheer from the grandstand, just amazing.
Less than half a 10.
Here's Hamilton, he might take it back again. Yes, he's done it. Lewis Hamilton has gone and taken pole position for Mercedes. Ricciardo, though, will have his first ever front row start at his home event. A new era of Formula One is about to power its way into the history books.
It's Formula One, Ben, but just not as we know it.
Lights out, away we go. Who's off the line? They all seem to bog down, but Rosberg cuts through. It's Rosberg who leads. Hamilton trying to defend, but no, he's lost second. Ricciardo second.
We need to retire, we need to save the engine, we need to save the engine.
Well, that's desperate news for Lewis Hamilton, having to retire already in the very early stages of the Australian Grand Prix, and this is desperate for Lewis Hamilton, David.
Well, not what they were hoping for. He had a great qualifying yesterday, but it just shows off the back of a very positive winter testing. This new technology is so fresh.
It wasn't easy. We've done all this work through winter, all the winter training, and then, geez, I didn't even get to see past even the first pit stop or anything like that, and which is difficult.
Nico Rosberg wins the Australian Grand Prix for Mercedes.
Yes! Come on, guys, brilliant stuff. What car you've given me. What a car, unbelievable.
It was really a very special moment, you know, to start this new era in Formula One, this hybrid era, winning in the Silver Arrow for me, great.
Daniel Ricciardo exits the last corner to take his first ever podium finish in Formula One.
Thanks, guys. That's really cool.
That was brilliant, mate. I think we can see a smile from here. Nice job.
How long did that feeling of euphoria last after the race?
Well, it lasted for about an hour and a half before they excluded us.
Extremely disappointed, quite surprised, and we will of course appeal.
It was one of those things. We made a judgment with fuel flow sensor. The FIA, you know, in the first Grand Prix, you know, they ruled against us.
I mean, I went basically from a massive high to a massive low, but if I'm honest with you, that disappointment stayed with me for about 24, 36 hours, and then I was just hungry and ready to go again. And I still took a lot of satisfaction out of what I did on the weekend.
I take quite a lot still from Australia, whilst of course I came out of it with 25 points less than my teammates, so I was obviously nowhere, but I think what the most important was how I bounced back from that in the next round.
Lewis Hamilton looking totally in control of this race. Lewis Hamilton wins in Malaysia.
Awesome race, Lewis, awesome race. Faultless weekend. You've done the job there, pal.
In that race I used a lot of techniques. As you probably would have seen, I used less fuel than everyone and all these different things that I had kind of learned and applied, and others hadn't, particularly my teammate hadn't done that. There was a big case study of what, you know, how the hell did I win by so far? And we got to Bahrain after that. Those things were clear and visible to my teammate. So then I had to try and figure out what else I could improve on, and he was catching up on those.
Lights out, away we go. Who's it going to be off the front row? Rosberg trying to cover Hamilton. Hamilton's got a good start though, and he's going to lead, I think, into the first corner. What a crucial getaway for Lewis Hamilton.
Yes, it was indeed very stressful.
The battle up front. Rosberg trying to come around the outside of Lewis Hamilton. Oh, they almost touch.
There was maximum a centimetre at times between us.
Well, side by side. They're looking at the battle. Rosberg's just got past Lewis Hamilton. No, he hasn't. Hamilton retakes it.
That is the equivalent of a slap in the face.
They were very close to each other, and I was excited.
Has he got in front this time? Hamilton can't fend him off. Rosberg's got him. Rosberg takes the lead, but will he have to run down towards turn 4?
I love racing. In go-karts, you're swapping and changing all the time. All those maneuvers I pulled on Nico were all karting maneuvers. It was very cool.
Hamilton will try and go around the outside at turn 4, and he'll try and cut back on the exit. Wow, this is amazing racing between the two Mercedes teammates. Hamilton retakes the lead of the Bahrain Grand Prix.
This is brilliant. This is brilliant, brilliant stuff.
Oh, we've got a shunt. That's a Sauber.
Whoa, what was that?
Safety car is out. That plays the advantage to Rosberg. We've got Hamilton on the prime, Rosberg on the option. I don't see how he's going to be able to keep Rosberg behind.
Lewis, it's Paddy. Nico, it's Paddy here. There are about 10 laps left to race. Can we just make sure we bring both cars home?
Okay.
You're not quite sure whether your car is good enough. You're not quite sure whether you can continue to win races, and then suddenly you have a chance for a 1 and 2, and they fight each other so hard.
Away goes Lewis Hamilton, chased immediately by Nico Rosberg. Rosberg trying to go around the outside, can he do it? No, Hamilton will shut the door. And Rosberg going side by side with Hamilton once again, but Hamilton just able to fend him off, but it's not over yet. He'll move to the outside, he's tried this several times, and Hamilton has hung him out to dry. Oh my goodness, don't touch, they're so close! And they were told to bring the cars back in one piece. If they carry on like this, that might not happen. Oh, he's down the inside, but he's too deep this time, surely.
How is he doing this? How is he keeping Rosberg behind?
Lewis Hamilton wins the Bahrain Grand Prix.
Nice work there, Lewis. Yeah, it's all going there for a minute, mate.
Fantastic job this weekend, guys. We didn't really have the pace on this side of the garage, but still held on to it.
Bahrain was a fantastic race, and a lot of that was thanks to Mercedes saying, we will let our drivers race, and you did.
This is my way of going racing. I mean, I was a racing driver myself, and I always wanted to make sure that they can do whatever they want. And it was clear from the Mercedes politics, Toto, Paddy and myself, that from the first race on, they should race, because they are about the same level of speed and experience, and therefore we said, let them get on with it.
I remember a French journalist coming to see me right after the race and said, thank you very much for what you did for Formula One, it's really awesome. And I didn't know what he was talking about, because I was still so worried and stressed by the situation and how that's going to continue in the season. How can we, survive wheel-to-wheel racing every single race?
What did you make of that move?
Well, it was, for me, right on the limit of being hard but fair, but much more than what actually Lewis did. It was the wake-up call for Nico. That was the moment where it was like, oh, hold on, I have to really fight for this.
I strongly dislike coming second to Lewis. That's really not something I enjoy doing.
I was at the time, of course, very frustrated because should have been mine that race, but Lewis just did a great job in the battle.
What did you say to each other after the race? Can you remember?
There were swear words, so it's better I don't repeat that, but in a friendly way.
Lewis Hamilton comes through to win the Chinese Grand Prix, his third straight win of the season. We are in the closing stages of the Spanish Grand Prix, and Lewis Hamilton can see his mirrors beginning to fill ever more with his teammate Nico Rosberg. Can he get past Lewis Hamilton to take victory? What a heroic effort, what a brilliant performance by both Mercedes drivers, but it is Lewis Hamilton who takes his fourth straight win of 2014, and he beats his teammate to take the lead in the World Championship, and that psychologically was yet another blow.
We had quite some discussions after Barcelona, because the rules we all set weren't respected 100% in Barcelona. One of the rules was that we want to keep both cars in the same engine modes. And in the final laps of Barcelona, and I wouldn't say it was done consciously on purpose, but we saw that that rule was being overstepped.
And also with all my settings, I was moving them up and down, really trying to find extra time. But Nico was just generally quicker this weekend, but fortunately I was able to keep him behind.
Spain was frustrating again, yes, because it's just so close, but I couldn't make it stick. Had a bit of a roll also going on with like 4 wins then at the time or something, and it was important for me to bring that to an end, which I then managed to do.
Here we go then, Rosberg. Let's see what Rosberg does. Fastest for Rosberg. What about Hamilton? Can Hamilton beat that? No, not quite this time. 59 thousandths of a second the difference on their first attempt to take this pole position.
You caused quite a lot of controversy on that Saturday.
Indeed.
Rosberg, currently fastest, but will he stay there?
Let's see what this first sector gives us. It's marginally slower.
He's gone straight on, It'll depend on Hamilton's final lap.
Yellow, yellow, turn 5.
Is there a yellow? There is a yellow off of that area.
I think Hamilton's backed out of it.
He has.
It's all over.
He had to pass that area under yellow flags, and Rosberg has emerged as the pole winner, and he has ended that little mini sequence for Lewis Hamilton.
Yeah, very good of him. Very good.
He got a great first lap, was very quick there, and then second lap, I found my time in the first sector, which was going to make the difference, and then I had to bail out. So that was tough.
Of course, I'm sorry for what happened to Lewis. I didn't know where exactly he was, but once I was reversing, I did see he was coming up. So, of course, yeah, that's not great, but that's the way it is.
Then having seen the data and all that kind of stuff made it a little bit harder to kind of swallow.
There was a big argument which nobody can prove right or wrong if Nico did this on purpose to destroy his qualifying lap. Nico said, no, I braked too late, and that was it. And then Lewis said, listen, you braked 10 meters too late, this is on purpose.
That was how I felt, like I could leave it. And I honestly think I had the right to feel that way.
Can you tell us exactly what happened? Just because it's you, though, huh? This is not a subject I like to go back into. No, well, it's pretty straightforward. That I was a little bit behind, I think, on my split time. So I just started to push a little bit more, because pole is everything in Monaco, and I locked up my rear wheels a little bit, braking into that corner. Caught the first part, and then was looking okay, and then locked up again a second time, and then I wouldn't have made the corner anymore. So in the last moment I had to steer out to not hit the wall. That's it.
As far as I've known him now for the last 2 years, he's a straightforward guy. Nico is not somebody who would try to be underhand.
The stewards did look into the incident, and Nico was acquitted of any blame. Do you understand that?
I don't, and I still don't today.
We will never know what actually happened in that car, but that was the point when it actually deteriorated a lot.
Brilliantly driven. That qualifying session certainly made a difference, didn't it? Nico Rosberg coming through to win the Monaco Grand Prix. And second place is going to go to Lewis Hamilton. So he loses the championship lead, but still remains in touch with his teammate.
Yes! Thank you very much, everyone.
I think actually it was not so much about he didn't win, it was about the manner in which he felt he'd lost. And it was all about being sporting, and he felt that for the first time Nico had been unsporting.
First of all, you need to question whether they were ever friends. They were mates, and they went through the junior categories, but they were never in the same team at the same time, only in karting. And in karting, as a 15 or 16-year-old boy, it's different than when you compete for the Formula One World Championship.
And I've been a racing driver myself. I had the same problem with Prost when I was racing, and I understand them. I mean, they both want to win a championship. So every trick, I call it trick, they would do, I would do as well. This is what racing drivers do in this high level of competition.
But actually, the biggest celebrations that we saw in Monaco were with Marussia, because they achieved what seemed to be impossible. They put points on the board.
Actually, believe it or not, one of the absolute highlights of my season. It brought them of age, because it gave those young teams, which a lot of people were not respectful towards. I certainly am, and I believe they have a rightful place there. But Marussia's 2 points, fantastic.
Jules Bianchi really raced his heart out, and he actually gave the team an incredible amount of hope at that point.
Well, what it also shows is the star quality of Jules as a driver. You look through the history of the greats, they've always been able to outperform their car, if you like, and I think that a lot of that result was down to his driving. So it was a great moment to see the emergence of him, young Ferrari driver, and of course Marussia getting the first points.
Mercedes have been dominating the season. Was there a sense that they were going to win every race?
Well, they looked unstoppable. I mean, they'd won every race up until that point, and we'd had good races in Monaco, we'd been competitive on the podium in Barcelona, but they'd always had that amount up their sleeves. And so Montreal, dominated by straights, was the circuit we least thought that we would be competitive at.
Hamilton on the attack.
Hamilton Hamilton getting closer and closer to the back of Nico Rosberg's car. Hamilton much closer. Lock-up. Rosberg will have to surely give that up.
So no penalty for Nico.
Lost power. I've got no power, guys. Hey, still not there anymore.
Okay, Nico, we're trying to solve it. We believe your teammate has the same problem.
They're both not running at full pace, 2 or 3 seconds a lap slower, but they're still racing.
In hindsight, maybe you could say it would have been better just to back off and cruise around in second. But I didn't.
The race leader comes in. This has got to be a chance for Hamilton to take the lead. Will he get out in front of Rosberg?
The thing was, I was just so close to winning. I knew I was quickest and came out from the pit stop and I was ahead and I was so excited, and then the damn brakes failed.
Hamilton is out ahead of his teammate.
Hamilton goes wide at the hairpin.
Hamilton very deep there. It is Rosberg who got in front. Hamilton's coming back at him. Oh, Hamilton goes straight through and on. Oh, and Hamilton slows down.
Brakes have failed.
Hamilton's championship hopes, well, they're going to take a big dent from this.
I'm pretty sure that I definitely played a part in the car stopping, and, you know, yeah, we lost those points.
Your teammate has a problem. Most important you finish now, looking after the brakes.
The team said you drove with a lot of intelligence.
That's nice to hear. It was a challenge, just because it's such an unusual situation, you know, not having any electronic power on the straight, so being very slow, and then the guys, a whole train of guys behind.
Still Nico Rosberg controlling this race. Can he hold on?
As soon as I saw him, I was like, you know, the heart rate started coming up. I was like, we could be on here. You know, all I was thinking was, if I can pass Sergio, then, you know, I'm quick enough.
Ricciardo goes into second, or does he? Because he's gone too wide, but he gets it back. Whoa, now Ricciardo will go chasing after Nico Rosberg. And here's a chance for Daniel Ricciardo. Ricciardo goes past Rosberg to take the lead in the Canadian Grand Prix. We are on the far limit. Oh, Perez, Matanen, Vettel just missed. Oh my goodness.
They're both okay by the looks of it. Daniel Ricciardo gets to savour the last lap of winning his first ever Grand Prix.
Nobody can overtake you. You're going to win the race.
Daniel Ricciardo takes his first ever Grand Prix win. He wins in Canada. Red Bull are back.
It was a while since I'd done this, you know, a few years since I won a race, and to then finally do it in F1 was pretty special.
Sense of relief in many respects that it wasn't going to be a winless season for us, and that considering where we'd come from, you know, only a few months earlier, you know, my word, have we turned it around.
We've been admiring this boy, Daniel Ricciardo, for some time, and to him emerge like this, not just beating his world champion teammate, but winning this race, was huge joy for the Red Bull team.
By the time we got to Montreal, there was a pattern already starting to emerge that Daniel had the upper hand of the two drivers. Some of his races in Bahrain, in China, in Monaco, Barcelona, you know, he'd driven brilliantly well. So it was no great surprise that the guy that delivered that winning trophy for us was actually Daniel.
I think he's emerged as probably the find of recent time in motor racing.
Oh, Hamilton's lost it. He's not set a lap time, and this is crucial in terms of his World Championship hopes. Felipe Massa. So he's got fastest of all, Felipe Massa. Has he taken pole position? What about Rosberg?
He's backed out of it, Ben. He's nowhere in the middle sector.
And Williams have not only got a pole position, they've got the entire front row. This is unbelievable.
Amazing. Really emotional day for us, for me, for Williams.
Last year, everyone would have seen how disappointed everybody was, you know, from race to race. So, you know, to come into this year and to take that front row lockout was extraordinary for everybody, and it was such great reward for everybody.
You know, it was one of them moments that wasn't fully expected, and therefore it was just really nice. I think it's, if you look at the images of that, it's a long time since I've got that excited on the pit wall.
The championship leading Mercedes cars start down in third place for Rosberg, but here's Hamilton, and he's all the way down in 9th place. Lights out, away we go. The two front row men, Felipe Massa getting away well, but it's an excellent start from Nico Rosberg.
Hamilton, he's made a great start.
He's made a fantastic start. He's in 5th place already, I think, Lewis Hamilton. He's having a go on Fernando Alonso. Oh, and he goes straight through. 1 lap over. Hamilton is 1 position behind Nico Rosberg. Would you have believed that?
Couldn't believe that, because I didn't think I would ever see him again in the race, because I was sure that it's going to take him ages to come through.
I think when we look back now, we could have maybe been a bit more aggressive to try and really stay ahead of Mercedes, but we didn't have podium yet that season, and we just really wanted to maybe be a bit more cautious to try and get a good points with both cars, and that's what we did.
Victory for Nico Rosberg here in Austria from Lewis Hamilton, who just backs off across the line. 3rd place goes Valtteri Bottas, his first ever podium in Formula One. Conditions are going to make life difficult, and it could change the way that we see cars running throughout this session.
Every year going back to Silverstone, I know how much support there is there. The previous year we'd lost the race and the tyre blew up. I lost it for the fans, so I really wanted to do it for them this year.
So what has Hamilton done here? Has he got a good lap? It's fastest at the moment. And it looks good for Hamilton. It looks good for him to be on pole position.
Then it started raining more towards the end of qualifying, and we all thought, okay, that's it.
It's pretty slippery out here.
The beginning of the lap was quite poor, and on my delta it tells you what time you're doing, and it was down quite a lot compared to my previous laps. So I was thinking, there's no way. So I backed out.
The session is coming to an end. It doesn't look as though there's going to be any changes here.
I remember even having a discussion with my engineers, and some of them were saying it's just a waste of time, why go out? And I said, what do we lose by going out, you know? Because Michael Jordan once said, you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. So might as well take the shot.
Hulkenberg's gone fastest, and the times are coming down. Vettel's gone quickest. The last part of the lap is really dry. Button's gone second, Rosberg goes fastest.
The last corners were much drier, and so I made up like 3 seconds in the last 3 corners and put it on pole, and that was, yeah, awesome result.
Where's Hamilton? Where is Hamilton? He's in the pits. He's 6th. Hamilton is 6th.
Afterwards, I was just horrified that I'd allowed that to happen. And that was really difficult, you know, because I really felt like I let everyone down.
You're obviously incredibly disappointed. Did you expect the circuit would dry out so fast?
Obviously not, no. I don't really have anything to say to you at the moment. So.
Ever since I was a kid, it would take a long time to get over things. Years ago in 2008, I had a really bad race from pole position in Fuji, and I didn't come out of my hotel room for 3 days. I didn't speak to anyone. I was that angry at myself. Now I've just learned a technique of just getting by things, you know. You can't do anything about the past, so don't let it linger. All I can do is shape the future. And came back the next day with my dad and my brother, and the fans were there in full support. So I was like, well, we win and we lose together, so let's go out and do it.
Lewis Hamilton's going to start in 6th place here at Silverstone. My goodness, if he's going to win the British Grand Prix, it's going to be an amazing race. Lights out, away we go. Great start from Hamilton. Hamilton going around the outside of Sebastian Vettel, gets a bit of a squeeze, but I think he's made the move stick.
Okay, Lewis, it's hammer time.
Hamilton's on a charge. This is fantastic. It's reminiscent of the Mansell era.
Hamilton now on Magnussen. Is he going to give him the space? But he goes wide, and Hamilton takes the place. So Hamilton is up into 3rd position. Look how quickly he's catching Jenson Button. Closing up to the 2nd place car, the McLaren. The 2 British drivers go side by side. Hamilton dives down the inside and takes 2nd place from Jenson Button.
It was unreal. It was just unreal. I think seeing the flags, seeing the roar, I mean, I'd never in a million years thought I'd have that kind of support.
A massive cheer has gone up all around Silverstone.
Okay, Lewis, you're the fastest man on track.
He took over 2 seconds out of his teammate on just the 1 lap.
He's clearly got a problem.
Problem on the upshift at turn 8.
And Lewis Hamilton leads the British Grand Prix.
Trying to get a gear.
Rosberg is out, and Hamilton has it all to himself. Hamilton is going to win the British Grand Prix. He wins for the 2nd time.
England! What a great feeling, guys. I'm sorry about yesterday. I couldn't be happier.
I think probably in the back of my mind was thinking back to the days of the greats when Nigel was racing around there and when they were running on the track and when he had the flag in the car and when he picked up Ayrton one time and those kind of things, and just thinking, wow, I'm kind of a part of creating that history.
Enjoy the moment, Lewis. You've earned it. It's a very, very special day for Lewis Hamilton.
That was painful. It takes a lot of confidence away from you when you brake and the car doesn't stop.
Okay, Lewis, let us know you're okay. Lewis, just...
Yeah, I'm okay. Something hit the brakes and the brakes failed.
I hit the wall pretty hard and actually the seat twisted and I damaged my one of the vertebrae in my low back. And yeah, Germany was tough.
His mindset and his mental strength grew throughout the season, and he got better and better of overcoming those difficult moments.
Lewis Hamilton, all the way back in 20th place on the grid as he looks to try and make his way through the order. Right at the front is his teammate, Nico Rosberg. Lights out, away we go, and Rosberg gets off the line very well. Magnussen, oh, he's hit Massa, Massa's over, flicks back over again. Hamilton is now trying to pick his way through the order.
That was certainly a brave move.
I actually really enjoy coming through. It's almost more satisfying than winning the race.
Raikkonen and Hamilton both going for it. Locked up, he's hit Raikkonen. How did they get away with that? And Lewis Hamilton surely needs to be a little bit wary here.
Needs to be thinking about the long game here.
I didn't mean to hit Jensen.
Button. Oh, there's a little bit of contact again.
Front wing.
It looked like he was letting me by. I was like, oh, what a nice guy. It came back in.
Damage my front wing. I thought he was letting me pass.
Well, Hamilton has got past Alonso now, so he's into 3rd place.
I almost felt like I had one, coming from dead last to 3rd.
Nico Rosberg wins the German Grand Prix for Mercedes.
Yes! Yes, thank you!
Winning my home race, you know, it's very special. Only the 2nd driver or something since 1930s to have won in a German car, German driver, home race in Germany. Great day for me.
Nico Rosberg from the gap to 14 points in the championship, and Hamilton will definitely be out for revenge.
I knew this weekend I've got to bounce back. I know I'm quick, I've got an extra few tenths in my pocket, so when I need to bring it out, I'm going to bring it out and I'm going to get pole.
Fire on Hamilton.
Then all of a sudden, looking at my mirrors and I've got flames coming out. I'm like, no.
Oh, for f***'s sake.
Stop, jump out, jump out.
And I just remember standing there looking at the car and seeing Nico kept coming past. I'm like, oh my, this guy's car never stops.
Look at the slow walk of disappointment.
It's the 6th pole position of the year for Nico Rosberg.
Yeah, there's lots of things going through my mind. It's getting to the point that it's kind of beyond bad luck now, so we need to do better.
Rosberg gets off the line. Hamilton waiting in the pits to start this race. Hamilton's gone off. He's joined from the pit lane. He's gone straight off down to turn 2.
Oh my God, that was horrible. I was not happy with myself there. But then to come through, you know, real serious damage limitations.
Big accident for Marcus Ericsson in the Caterham. Everybody will be gathered up behind safety car. Do we see some pit stops?
Hamilton, unsurprisingly, has come in. All of those lead out are now heading in.
And Rosberg is going to lose out as a result of this. And now Rosberg's under pressure from Alonso. Alonso goes through, and there's only one car between Rosberg and Hamilton. Would you believe it? Vettel here being chased by Hamilton. Oh, the Vettel has spun, but he's not hit anything. Rosberg rejoins, and now we're going to see him really put the hammer down.
Okay, Lewis, gap to Nico, 1 second. He's on the option tyre. He has one more stop, so don't hold him up.
Why is he not letting me through?
Okay, Lewis, if you let Nico pass this lap, please. Let Nico pass on the main start-finish straight.
Yeah, that's never something you want to hear.
I think that's a tough call by the team. I'm sorry, they're racing.
Hungary, we did what we discussed. It was clear that if a driver would run on a different strategy and he would have to have one stop more to do, then the guy in front would make his life difficult.
People will have opinions about that. I think for me it was just, I was really not expecting it, and then to hear that after what I've just been through. You know, Nico started on pole. Okay, the safety car caught him out, but it's not as bad as starting from the pit lane and going off, hitting the wall, and coming back through all these people.
There was suddenly much more in the equation than just a piece of paper saying these are the rules.
Why is he not letting me through?
He's had the message, Nico, he's had the message.
I felt like I really answered in the right way. I was just saying, you know, okay, well, I won't block him if he's coming by, but I'm not going to come off the gas and let him come by so he can gain more points in the championship than me, because I feel like I've earned my way to this spot, you know, from dead last. So I plan on keeping it.
I'm not slowing down for Nico. You get close and overtake, then you can overtake.
Did you feel very let down that day?
I don't know I'm a bit worried now to open like old wounds or something by saying something. I don't remember what my position was at the time. But anyways, it's the thing of the past, and that's it.
Rosberg's in. He's going to drop down the order. What a showdown this promises to be between Alonso, Hamilton and Daniel Ricciardo. Hamilton holds the inner ground. Now Ricciardo trying to go all the way around the outside. He's done it! Oh, Ricciardo's taken second place from Lewis Hamilton. And now he goes chasing after race leader Fernando Alonso. He's down the inside and he makes it look so simple. Daniel Ricciardo has taken the lead of the Hungarian Grand Prix. We go on to the final lap, and Rosberg's going to try and get past his teammate. Down into turn 2, round the outside. This is where we saw Ricciardo, but no, Hamilton squeezes him out. He says, you're not coming through on this last lap.
A little racing driver slap to the face there from Hamilton once again on Rosberg.
Daniel Ricciardo wins the Hungarian Grand Prix. Hamilton holds on for the final podium slot ahead of Nico Rosberg.
As far as I'm aware, in my mind, I was racing him.
Lewis Hamilton was given the order several times to let you pass and still didn't.
I don't know. We have to discuss that internally. It would not make sense for me to speak about that now.
By the time we got to Spa, do you think that both Lewis and Nico had got over that whole team orders situation?
No, I think actually the opposite. I think that grew in them. And it grew more in Nico, because Nico felt that Lewis didn't respect what was being said, what was being agreed, and he felt that Lewis was having been too hard in turn 2 in Hungary. And when we came to Spa, you could feel there was tension.
And then we got to the race, and there was more tension.
I think I have a meeting now.
The two Mercedes up against each other. Rosberg makes a good start, but Hamilton on the outside makes a better one.
Got into the lead, so great.
Hamilton from Rosberg.
Nico did a really good job on the first lap and had generally more boost power down the back straight, so he towed me.
Rosberg's got a clean run. Hamilton has to go defensive.
There's quite a lot happening actually this season, to be honest, thinking about it. So what happened? I'm just trying to overtake.
Rosberg's going to have a look up the outside, but it's tough to go around the outside. He's trying.
Oh, and he's punctured Hamilton.
Nico hit me. Nico's hit me.
That's the worst place possible for Hamilton to get a puncture.
People were like, you know, you had to give him more space, but what you need to understand is when you're traveling at 200 miles an hour and you move to the inside of the circuit, the corner is so much tighter. So the line isn't the same as the line if you're on the outside, and so we both brake really late, nice and deep. Nico obviously had to bail out because he wasn't going to get by.
I had to sort of give way and just misjudged it. And then anything could have happened. You know, normally my front wing goes flying, but on this occasion, only part of my front wing went flying, and Lewis got a puncture.
In comes Lewis Hamilton with that shredded left rear tyre.
Damage. He's damaged the rear of the car as well.
Cars all over the place. I've got nothing, guys. The rear end's so bad. I can barely have a big lift in Eau Rouge. Guys, you need to stop me. Save my engine.
And Ricciardo wins the Belgian Grand Prix. Nico Rosberg finishes in second place.
Absolutely unacceptable.
Can you apportion blame?
Well, I think it's pretty clear what happened out there. You don't try to overtake with the knife between your teeth. Is that how you say in lap number 2? And then damage both cars.
Strong words.
Yeah, it was strong words, and we're not used to management being so open. I think most people felt it was clumsy of Nico Rosberg to try and pass around the outside, especially on Lewis Hamilton. But to have a team boss come out and confirm that, we're not used to it. Normally they do all that sort of stuff behind the scenes.
I think that was wrong, David.
Well, I accept your point of view on that, but I think from a fan's point of view it was great, because we got to see what they were thinking, and I think this is an extension of that, you know, just absolute honesty that we're used to from Niki Lauda.
Very simple. It is unacceptable for me that in the second lap Nico hits Lewis. Very simple. Unacceptable.
You try to make sure you mend it, and you mend it internally. You put a bond together, you put our arms around each other and say, let's never let this happen again.
Yeah, but Lewis Hamilton is not a man that can be contained. We've seen it through his McLaren career.
But he didn't say it. It was Toto said it.
Yeah, but Lewis came out and said, we've had a meeting, and Nico's just confirmed to me he did it deliberately.
Our championship leader, ladies and gentlemen, Nico Rosberg.
There was some booing from fans. That's a tough feeling. To have people really go against me in such a way, you know, and really show their anger towards me, you know, and it took some time to get over.
To Nico, I had a simple discussion. I mean, he argued, which I understand, that he needs to make a point against Lewis, because Lewis is one of the best overtakers. He can pass people in places where you don't think you can get through. And I told Nico, there are some drivers, they take chances and they get away with it, and some don't. So Lewis is an expert on this. So therefore your try on the outside really made no sense.
Eventually, after hearing everybody's opinion, I came to the conclusion then that it was, for the largest part, my responsibility. So I apologized for that to everybody.
For sure, at that point, I'd already thought that I'd had the hardest weekends already, and that was the hardest weekend.
I don't know why he hit me, but I'm sure he'll leave here happy. You get to thinking that maybe it's just not my year, but you know, I can't let that overtake everything. There's still 7 races. I'm going to push. I'm just going to give it everything I can for these next few races, because that's all I can do.
This is a team that is bred to win, and all of us this year have felt the scalding pain of not winning. And that pain probably the greatest at Monza, when in front of our home crowd, in front of our Tifosi, not only did we not perform well, but we had the ignominy of a DNF.
And now a retirement for Alonso on home turf as well.
It's really been like an Italian soap opera, hasn't it? So after 3 races, the team principal, Stefano Domenicali, he's out. They bring in Marco Mattiacci to replace him. 7 months later, Mattiacci out. And the president, Luca de Montezemolo, he's out. It seems as though Fernando Alonso didn't get on at all with Marco Mattiacci.
When he was first confronted with all that team personnel change, plus an engine that wasn't good enough, a chassis that clearly wasn't good enough, what must have been going through his mind to resign and go to a team that he actually left under a cloud, which was McLaren? And for him to be going back there is a massive surprise.
Racing teammate Vettel now will have the inside line for the next chicane. Does Ricciardo try around the outside? He cuts back to the inside. He's got past his teammate. Sebastian Vettel could do nothing.
We've talked about it so many times, about where Sebastian has come from, what he's able to do, the championships that he's won. And then to have this young cub come and display the kind of talent. I mean, it was a double move, wasn't it? For me, it was. I was nearly dizzy watching this because it was such a great overtake.
I think that was probably quite a defining moment for Sebastian. He was enormously frustrated after that. And it was at a time where I could see that he was very distracted. And it was obvious that something was at the back of his mind. And I think Ferrari, obviously, at that time were coursing him quite hard. And I think around Spa, Monza was the time that he made his decision, right, I'm going to do something different for next year. He was, you know, he was actually physically in tears about it. That it was like leaving home, but he decided to take on a new challenge at Ferrari.
Nico Rosberg leads, Lewis Hamilton in second.
Those next races, I felt like I had a huge force with me.
Now we'll race to the flag.
You know, it's a very intense race and battle between me and Nico, and geez, if he didn't feel that force that was with me, which he did obviously, then I would be surprised.
Hamilton has just gained a massive amount on Rosberg.
Do not tell me the gap. Do not tell me the gap.
That is the highest speed you ever get to and the biggest braking you ever get to in Monza with the lowest downforce, so it is difficult.
I love this. This is a psychological battle.
And I don't know, I just got it wrong in the crucial moment.
He's got it!
As a result of Lewis putting pressure on, you know, and I had to go look for that extra pace.
This is Hamilton's chance to take the lead of the Grand Prix. Oh, Hamilton's in front. Well, there's no doubt who has the psychological edge now. It is Lewis Hamilton. He has forced his teammate into a mistake. And Lewis Hamilton wins the Italian Grand Prix. What a result! Nico Rosberg, and he's not moving. Could be a pit lane start. It will surely be a pit lane start. He cannot get the car running.
The only thing that is working on the dash is your gear shift paddles, okay?
Well, he's had the lion's share of reliability this year.
This could be a real opportunity for Hamilton. 22 points behind, 25 available for victory, of course.
Yeah, that was a tough moment. I feel so helpless, you know, it's just my car that doesn't start.
Lights out, away we go. Hamilton is leading this race. Rosberg is severely hampered.
Okay, let's park it. Stop, switch.
It's all over for Nico Rosberg here in Singapore.
That was a tough moment to just, you know, see and lose so many points in that day.
Hamilton wins the Singapore Grand Prix. What a result for him on a day that he now takes the World Championship lead.
That's when the momentum finally swung and gave him the advantage.
Look at this, the gap's coming down. Hamilton closing on Rosberg.
It's a great feeling chasing, especially when you know you're gaining.
This is a definite duel between the two Mercedes drivers.
I've always felt like racing is where my real strength lies, you know, being able to suss out what the other driver's going to do, plan ahead of what I plan to do.
He's got the run. Rosberg's going to have to go defensive into the spray. Lewis Hamilton, he's on the dry line. He sweeps round the outside. Lewis Hamilton takes the lead of the Japanese Grand Prix after hunting his rival down.
That is bravery off the scale.
Red flag, the race has been stopped. Lewis Hamilton will be declared as the race winner. He has beaten the man who took pole position, Nico Rosberg, here in Japan.
Towards the end of the race, of course, tragic scenes. Adrian Sutil crashes. The recovery vehicle is there moving Adrian's car, and Jules Bianchi comes around in the same place, comes off the track and hits that recovery vehicle.
A lot of the drivers and a lot of the new teams, they hadn't been around certainly as long as I have to have seen what kind of effect this has on the paddock in general. And the drivers were absolutely shocked, and it was a massive accident, horrific in fact. Jules is back in his own country in France. He's on the road to recovery. It will probably be a long one, but fingers crossed, we wish him every success.
It was a shocking reminder of the dangers of Formula One, and it was enabling the paddock to really come together in the support of the Marussia team and for Jules and his family.
Lights out, away we go, and Hamilton gets away from pole position. Rosberg goes with him. Rosberg. Rosberg coming down the inside, trying to pass Lewis Hamilton. He looks up.
Just unnecessary mistake because it was my corner. But it really, just completely got me on it. It was unexpected for me to have that problem. And that's why it was such a huge cloud of smoke.
Lewis Hamilton is going to win the Russian Grand Prix. Nico Rosberg finishes in second, and Mercedes have become the Constructors' Champions of 2014.
The Marussia Formula One team have been placed into administration. They'd already withdrawn from the weekend's United States Grand Prix, the second F1 team to withdraw after Caterham, who were also in administration.
We go across the pond to America, 2 teams down.
Well, I was critical of the time, and I was critical of Bernie in particular, that I believe that Formula One is a family. And if you have a family environment and a family structure, you've got to make sure you look after all members in that family, whether the rich ones at the top or the poorer ones at the bottom. I also called to question the split in the money as to why the first 4 or 5 teams get such a chunk off the top. I felt it was a very unfair playing field. And I feel that Formula One desperately needs those teams to be part of Formula One.
It's looking good for Nico Rosberg here at Austin.
Interestingly, in Lewis's main discipline on Saturdays, Nico dominated.
And it's Nico Rosberg who has taken his 9th pole of 2014.
On the Sundays, Lewis was faultless, and his racecraft was just brilliant.
Hamilton having a go at Rosberg. He's down the inside. Oh, he's made the move. He squeezes his teammate out. Hamilton takes the lead at the US Grand Prix. Lewis Hamilton wins, and it's given him a further championship lead.
The following week we're in Brazil, and you have to look at the way the pressure is swinging. Lewis seems to be pushing forward, but then Nico in Brazil seems to take charge of everything.
All credit actually to Nico Rosberg, the way he handled the end of the season. You know, the pressure, if there was, seemed to inspire him.
Rosberg coming in.
If Hamilton can do a flying next lap, then he may have the chance to get in front of Rosberg.
Oh my goodness! Wow, Hamilton has pushed too hard. Nico Rosberg wins the Brazilian Grand Prix. He has fended off his teammate on this occasion after Hamilton made a rare mistake. In the battle for the championship, it will reduce the lead that Lewis Hamilton had, but he will still be the points leader going into the final round at Abu Dhabi.
So we go into this title showdown, 17 points, the difference. Nico really needs to win the race, but he has to get a car in between himself and Lewis, because if Lewis comes second, he's won the championship.
Going into Abu Dhabi, I knew that I only had to finish second, but what I wanted to do is to win. And so how do I go about it? It's not the same race as you normally have, but you have to approach it the same as you go into the weekend.
Rosberg, a 140.4. Where's Hamilton? I'm not sure Hamilton's done enough. I don't think he has. No, 140.8. And Lewis Hamilton will start from second position. That's a big margin between these two. We very rarely see any kind of margin at that level.
Nico dominated everything through practice, and Lewis was falling back a little bit.
Going into Abu Dhabi, the double points could have potentially such an impact. So we needed to make sure that the car was reliable, and that was, we concentrated so much on that we wanted to avoid a sudden swing in the championship towards one or the other by a car DNFing.
That day I was really calm. It's the calmest I've been all year. I don't know why. I felt really relaxed. I was like, this does not feel normal. So I was worried about the fact that maybe I'm not in the zone, because normally I have the butterflies and everything.
It is the last race of the year, and that does make a difference. Because you can't say anymore, okay, well, you don't need to take, you don't need to do this now because you still have 2 races to go,
today, Nico Rosberg goes into the biggest race of his life as he attempts to beat Lewis Hamilton to the title. Hamilton has been here before, though. It is the 4th time he's gone into a season finale with a shot at the title. And of course, in 2008, he converted that chance. Now, he's on the threshold of becoming the first British driver in over 40 years to win multiple championships.
All you're trying to do is make sure, firstly, you don't jump the start. You're trying to react to the lights as fast as possible, so for every millisecond, it's like half a metre or a metre at the end of the straight.
The 2 title protagonists are ready to lock horns for the final time this year.
I felt relaxed, I felt controlled, had the best start ever.
Hamilton's made a great start, a brilliant start from Lewis Hamilton, and he snatches the lead, and Rosberg gets into 2nd place, but it is Hamilton who leads. What a start from Lewis Hamilton. Hamilton leads from his teammate Nico Rosberg. They are 1 and 2, but not the way that Rosberg needs it. It's perfect for Hamilton at the moment. Long, long way to go in this race, of course. This is looking very strong at the moment for Lewis Hamilton. Rosberg can't keep up.
Massive lock-up.
Rosberg's now dropped to 7 seconds behind Lewis Hamilton.
Yeah, very slow last lap. 3 seconds slower. Does he have an issue?
Strange lack of engine power out of turn 14. Losing engine power.
Yep, coming here, we can see it.
Oh, what a shame if it goes this way.
Anything I can do to keep it going? Anything to do differently?
We're trying to solve it, Nico. At the moment, just keep pushing. Okay, Nico, so at the moment, Urs has failed.
He's going to be in so much trouble now. That's 160 horsepower that he no longer has available.
Okay, advise what's going on. The car switched off and now the throttle is all over the place.
How tough was that for you?
Very tough, because we let him down. Now you could say that probably the race was lost at the start with Lewis going, and it was clear that even Lewis winning or even finishing 2nd behind me wouldn't have changed the outcome of the championship. So that is the only support I can give myself and the team, justification. The way he handled the situation was very professional, but I guess it was pretty clear that he was very upset himself.
Just get me in the top 6 or 5 or whatever it is as safely as possible.
Then for me, I wasn't nervous about my car, but I was like, okay, please, rubbing the car, hoping that, because, she sounds perfect, she sounds fine, but it happens without you even having any warning.
What else can I do to look after the car?
We're just reviewing whether we need to turn the car off again. You let us know.
I started missing all the curbs, so my time dropped off quite a lot, by around 1.5 seconds or something. So then I think they started to panic because I didn't really tell them that I was slowing down that much.
So Massa 46.8 last lap, 46.8. Need to pick pace up a little bit.
I'm not racing Massa anymore.
Okay, copy that, Lewis.
How am I looking for that position finish that I need in case Lewis drops out?
It's not good at the moment, Nico, not good at the moment.
Well, what the hell does that mean? What do I need to do on pace?
Just drive flat out, that's all you can do, Nico.
And Rosberg's going slowly, very slowly. It looks as though it could be all over.
So, Nico, box, box, box. Too many problems with the car. Box, box, box.
I would like to go to the end.
Subway, we're happy for you to continue.
That's great, actually. That is great for Rosberg. Finish the Grand Prix. He can walk away from this race, his head held high.
Okay, Lewis, Nico looks to not be a threat now. Nico's not a threat now, so we can fight for this.
At that point, I was kind of like, well, I want to win. I want to do it.
Hamilton's responded. He's a tenth quicker in the first sector, just sending a message that, well, look, you can try, but it's going to be in vain.
I've always dreamed of winning the World Championship, but winning the last race.
He goes on to the final lap. The world title is heading his way.
I could see the crowd starting to cheer in the corner of my eye. And I was like, keep yourself calm. I was like, oh my God. I've gone the distance, this is it. I just couldn't believe it. And it came out of the last corner and that was it. It came off the gas and I was like, wow.
Lewis
it came up line, I think it's more of a feeling of relief and just being incredibly grateful.
World champion! Oh my God! I can't believe it! Thank you so much, guys!
Just so many emotions coming through because, you know, it's been a long time, and also, even though I'd won a championship before and I'm in for one, it's still my childhood dream.
Lewis, thank you very, very much for not letting or making the British public sweat. You are an absolute legend. Well done, mate.
Congratulations, Lewis. First Mercedes-Benz champion since Fangio.
I can't really explain how much this means. It means even more than the first one. It feels like it's the first time, and I feel so blessed.
The first one is always special, but the first one was special because, you know, I met Ron when I was 10 and I said I wanted to be world champion in his car, and then 12 years later I won the championship in his car. And then I had the big move when everyone doubted me and everyone doubted. I can't even remember a single person said a good thing about it, or that it was the best thing for me. You know, I knew in my heart that it was a good thing, but I just didn't, I could never have envisioned that I'll be winning the championship in the second year.
Hi Nico, it's Paddy. Sorry it didn't work out today, but you drove like a champion all year, and we come back next year and have another go.
I have to say, when I saw Nico going up in the back of the podium, we congratulate Lewis. This is real sportsmanship. Honestly, I had a heartbeat when I saw that, because I've been through all the stress with the two drivers, and that showed again what incredible teamwork we all have. And between the two guys, there was a lot of aggravation going on, and then when one won and the other one lost, this is the most difficult time for a racing driver, when you lose a championship. And then Nico went up there and congratulated him. I really had a lot of respect for it.
Emotions, very disappointed. But all in all, you know, Lewis deserved to win the championship today. Yeah, that's clear. And what happened to me didn't have any impact on that. You know, I mean, he was out there winning the race, and so yeah, whatever, my race didn't change anything. All in all, yeah, he just did that little bit better job than me in this year, especially in the races. You know, just a tiny bit, which I need to find. He is probably the best, or he was the best on the grid this year, you know, and I was up against him. Came very close, so yeah, pity it didn't work out, but still I'm proud to be in this moment, you know, with the team. It's been a very special year.
I think also his personality has developed throughout the seasons, and he has understood that it's not the last time he's going to have a go on the championship. I
said, Nico, thank you very much what you did now, because now I understand that you understand that he was better this year, so fight, and next year it might be the other way around.
I'm grateful that I have a teammate that's been fighting with me. Winning a championship from start to finish, from pole position every race, would not be really satisfying, really.
I'm sure that together we push each other, you know, to each of us always go looking for that extra bit. And that's really raised both of our games this year to a high level. It's still unbelievable, like, to think that 15 years ago we'd be on holiday together, sitting at dinner thinking, oh, imagine if one day we're going to be in the best F1 team, just fighting it out for those race wins and championships. It's quite amazing.
Motorsport is very honest, stopwatch. And the stopwatch always tells the truth. And whatever their approach was, whatever their personalities are, at the end they all ended up nearly at the same point. Clearly one won and the other one came second. But they were so equal, it was just a constant battle between the two of just beating the other one. The driver who won 11 races won the championship, the other one won 5. So you could say that that was the reason why he won the championship.
He is the best and was the best this year, no doubt, dominating the whole season. But every year is different. You have to start all over again next year to try to do it again. It's a new fight.
The thing that really stands out for me is he did it his way. It was the Lewis Hamilton way. What you see is what you get, and there's a contrast, this quiet, often searching for words man out of the car, and this steely determination, this absolute racer behind the wheel. And where I think he broke through and won this championship was not with his speed, but with his racing ability. That is what ruffled the feathers of Nico Rosberg, and that's what won Lewis Hamilton this title.
And he joins this incredible club of British double world champions now, of just 4 drivers.
Well, we all know who they are. They're Jim Clark, Jackie Stewart, obviously Damon's dad, and now himself. And I think that, more than anything, when he says that this was more important to him, I think it's more important because he joins a group of great British drivers.
If you could summarise the season, sum it up in one sentence, how would you describe it?
I really enjoyed the inter-team battle, and to see the different personalities coming through, and they are very different personalities. So for me, the human level was the aspect of the season I really enjoyed.
For me, I'm grateful that we had Mercedes and the wisdom that they had in getting Lewis to the team, because I would have shuddered to think what sort of a season we would have had it not been for that inter-team battle, because the world loved it. They got it, because nothing like a fight, not just 2 drivers, but the fact that they're part of the same family, it's amazing, you know, you couldn't write it. Hollywood script, we had it all.
Your love is bright as ever, even in the shadows. Baby, kiss me before they turn the lights out.
A new era of Formula One is about to power its way into the history books.
Your heart is glowing.
It's Formula One, Ben, but just not as we know it.
And I'm crashing into you.
Wow, this is amazing racing between the 2 Mercedes teammates.
Baby, kiss me.
This is brilliant stuff.
Before they turn the lights out. Before they turn the lights out. Baby, love me lights out.